Hello and welcome to another episode of Set Musings. We're up to Magic 2015. Wow. So the other day I was trying to work out when would be a good point to basically wrap this particular series up. And additionally, originally I thought I'll maybe take a break for a little while around about when we went from 3 to 2 sets per block. And then I changed. I thought, well, maybe I'll do it between the break from 2 to 1. And then I decided, no, I'm just going to power through and take the series through. So it's up to the point at which I started doing the set musings as the sets were released, which is relatively recent, I suppose, what, in the last year, maybe, from when this video goes out. So that's my plan. I'm just going to power through. And the good news is once I get to that point, I'm still going to try and maintain the 3 Magic the Gathering videos a week, but they'll be about something slightly different. I have plans already and I'm acquiring various cards so I can do various interesting artwork videos as well for the Friday video. Because obviously once we get through all of the sets that I need to get through and bring it up to the point at which I started doing the set musings as the sets came out, that means the Commander Durdle and the artwork video, which are as tied to the sets, will have a change up, but there'll still be 3 videos, and I already have plans about how that's going to go down. But I'm not going to say yet, just in case I slightly change the format for that, because with the amount of sets we've still got to go, the set musings will easily run into 2023 anyway. So we've got a core set here today. 269 cards, 101 commons, 80 uncommons, 53 rares, 15 mythic rares, 20 basic lands. So good news, we've got basic lands here. And then 15 sample deck cards, which we'll see in a moment. So one of the things I don't know how long this was starting to be a thing. You know, we're used to seeing alternate artwork in Magic's history before, but they were included in the booster packs. We're in a situation with this set, not so much with alternate artwork that wasn't in the booster packs, because again, that's something else we've seen, but cards which were in the set but weren't in booster packs. So there were 15 sample deck cards, 6 commons, 4 uncommons and 5 rares. And they're listed down the end of here, so we'll get to these in a moment as we're just scrolling through, getting a feel for the artwork. I'll get on as usual and talk about how many of these cards are reprints, how many are new cards. The keyword ability to look out for in the set, which was set specific, was Convoke. Obviously there are going to be evergreen keywords, abilities which crop up, but Convoke was, if you like, the main one in the set that was specific to the set and cropped up a lot. And we'll come on to exactly what Convoke does in a moment. You can see here we've got a couple of multicolored cards, a smattering of colorless stuff, some interesting cycles. You'll see some dual lands in here, which we'll get onto, and then basic lands. Now here are the starter deck cards. So these were exclusive to starter decks. So you can see there we've got 4 in white, 2 in blue, 2 in black, no, 3 in black, 3 in red and 3 in green, which, because of their presence in M15, would have also made them standard legal for a period of time. Okay, moving on. So let's start to slice and dice this. 122 reprints in the set. Again, we're not talking about reprints of basic lands here. 142 new cards. See here we've got, looks like we've got some slivers here in M15. We have 28 cards which are colourless spells. And you can see a number of those are artifacts. There's some equipment and there's some creature artifacts as well. So monocolour cards, 224 of those. 2 multicoloured cards. We've got Garruk, Apex Predator, to Planeswalker, pretty interesting card. Like 4 of these Planeswalker abilities on them. 2+1s, a -3 and a -8 with a loyalty of 5. And then we have this rather nice 5-colour Sliver, which gives Sliver creatures you control. So remember, I think it was as of, was it M14? Slivers had this new thing where they were, the effect applied to your Slivers, as opposed to pre that, they were across the board. They were symmetrical as opposed to asymmetrical. Okay, let's give us a feeling for the tribes in different colours. I'm just going to check something because I had a sudden thought whether there might be an easier way to sort this. No. I'm going to have a dabble around at some point in the keyword search document and just see if there's anything where I can sort these a bit easier, so I'm not jumping around trying to look for creature types, creature subtypes. So some angels, cat soldier. So seeing a few soldiers here, you can see there's a sliver, humans, Kithkin, hippogriff, another cat, Kithkin, griffin, angels. So we've got a number of angels here. Oh yeah, and quite a lot of humans. There's a wall, and obviously our Sliver Hive Lords here, because it's Wooburg. We're going to see this in all the slices. Human wizard. Yeah. So predominantly, I suppose, humans and wizards. Humans and wizards. Humans and angels, I meant to say. In blue, we have a squid. Human, salamander, wizard, squid, horror, Verdelkin, artificer, wall. I wonder if there's a wall in each colour. We'll see. There's a sliver there. Elemental cat, human wizard, angel illusion. Oh, we've got a legendary creature in blue, a leech, elemental. So it's quite wide range of creature types here actually in blue. Got a shapeshifter, another elemental. So there's more humans actually. Leviathan, avatar wall, bird, and our sliver. So quite broad there. In black, spirits, a zombie cat, vampires, so I suspect we'll see a few zombies and vampires, a demon, human assassin, another sliver, horror, yeah. Quite a few zombies here. Nightmare horse. And of course, it's looking through the set as a whole here. So we're going to get stuff pulled in from that group of sample deck cards as well. Just so you know. It's avatar. Okay. So zombies and vampires. Red, another sliver. So humans seem to be cropping up everywhere, as we've seen a lot in recent sets. So goblins is always a good one to watch out for in red, and you see we've got quite a few here. There's an ape, dragon, got a legendary creature ogre spirit, hounds in red, some dragons. There's the one from the sample deck, another wall. Giants, so yeah, goblins predominantly here, but we do have a number of dragons. And then moving on to green, another ape in green. We saw one in red there. Plant elemental beast, centaur warrior, rhino, elf druid, beast, plant hydra, insect. So rather diverse set of tribes here. We've got 3 insects actually here. There's a tree folk warrior, another elemental, plant elemental, spider, human druid. We'll keep an eye out for these paragons that were in the set actually. Elves, beast, a bear, satyr, another elf. So we've got a number of elves here, number of beasts. There's our sliver, a wall, a legendary creature, and again our sliver. So you're probably starting to notice some patterns here, which I'm sure we'll see once we start to look at the cycles in the set, of which there are a few. So stuff bigger than 6, so 7 or bigger. What do we have? So Boone Weaver Giant, we're sorted here by mana value. So 7 up to 9. So we've got smattering of creatures. There's our Planeswalker, which is 7 in black, green. Things like Mass Calcify as well. So yeah, we have some rather large creatures in this set. And a few large sorceries, but notice, I don't know if you can see this, I think there's one, at least one here. Can you see the presence of Convoke here? And we'll come back to that properly. But yeah, a number of those larger spells also have Convoke. And here's Convoke. So 22 cards with Convoke. So how it works with Convoke is your creatures can help cast a spell. Each creature you tap while casting a spell pays for 1 or more mana of that creature's colour. So there we go. And you can see these are across. Are there any mythics here? I think they're just the, yeah, just the uncommon, common and rare. I don't see any mythic rares here with Convoke. But you can see there's pretty diverse spell types. So we've got instant sorceries, creatures. Did I see a? Yeah, an artifact down there. So there's Convoke. So moving on to some cycles. Cycle of Planeswalkers, 1 in each of the colours. Jani, Jace, Liliana, Chandra and Nissa. Variety of loyalties, starting loyalties here. We've got a couple of 4s, 2 5s and a 3. And they all have 3 Planeswalker abilities. So if you remember the 2 colour one, that had the Garruk, that had 4 on it. And there we have, that's our Garruk. So there's a cycle of souls of additionally there was a 6th one which is was an artifact. So 5 in each of the colours plus a 6th colourless one. And you can see pretty much the same format here. So they're all avatars as their creature subtype. And in addition, they have 2 abilities and looks like they've all got some form of static ability. Now, like the Planeswalkers before them, we saw they're all at Mythic, they're all at Mythic Rare. These ones also, you'll notice, are all 6/6s. So all 6/6s, they all have some sort of static ability, and they all have 2 activated abilities. And it looks like with the second one, yeah, you have, in addition to paying the cost, you also have to... Okay, so that one... Oh, now, yeah, so now we can see, this is interesting. So the top one here is one that's applicable when it's in play. And then the bottom one, you can exile it from your graveyard. Cool. Nearly missed that. Cycle of creature legendaries. I've also included a 6th one here, which is the Wooburg Sliver Hive Lord. But for the monocolour ones, we've got 1 in each colour. Angel, Human Wizard, Demon, Ogre Spirit, and a Human Rogue. And those 5 are at rare. The Sliver Hive Lord, which is the Wooburg, is at Mythic. In terms of templating with the abilities, you can see it's all over the shop. We got some with activated abilities, other ones with activated abilities where you tap them. There's a few sort of static abilities as well on different ones, so yeah, quite variable there. So yes, we have some slivers. Did I just miss? I believe I just missed the paragons. Might have to go back for that. Actually, let's do that in a moment. So the slivers, 5 uncommon slivers. Yeah. And in actual fact, I wanted to illustrate this. They were the only, well, apart from the Sliver Hive Lord, the only other slivers in the set were at uncommon. So the other thing, we had a cycle of, well, these cycle of paragons. So 5 uncommon 2/2 colour lords. You can see their lords over their colour. So the white one, the blue one, the black one, the red one, the green one. Additionally, they had this ability which also tapped them. And you can see it imparted something on another creature in that colour that you control, I think. Yeah. They're all 2/2s, and the casting cost is a total of 4 CMC with 1 of each of the colours, or the appropriate colour, should I say. It'd be nice if Yeah, I'll see what I can find for Friday video. I can't promise that I've got copies of all of these, but we'll see. Okay. In MTG Wiki, it's calling these Sedge Creatures. So 5 uncommon creatures that get ++. 5 uncommon creatures that get +1/+1 if you control a basic land of the appropriate allied colour and can activate an ability for a payment in that allied colour. This cycle uses the other allied colour than the cycle from Magic 2013, and the activated abilities have greater utility. So says the MTG Wiki. You can see here's the land condition. The staves. So 5 uncommon artifacts that cost 3 and have an ability that allows you to its controller to gain 1 life whenever a spell or land of the appropriate colour is played. Reprinted from Magic 2014. So we've seen things like this before. But obviously these are reprints, but I mean other spells that do similar things, but often they were just based on the colour of a spell. This one's also whether or not includes in there a land of a particular colour. In fact, I'm just going to take a quick look and see how many times. Yeah, they were only ever reprinted twice. Or, yeah, reprinted once, sorry. They've been printed twice. There was a cycle of walls, as you may have already noticed. Cross rarity here. So there is one at common, the rest are at uncommon. They're walls, so they all have defender. And again, a little bit of variability in there in terms of the what they can do. You'll notice they also all have 0 power. Did I accidentally put those in twice? Yes. Okay. That happens. So I missed the paragons out initially and put the walls in twice. So same colour in enhancers here. So what's that all about? So a loose cycle of 5 common cards that are more effective when played in conjunction with cards of the same colour. Or it's sort of reverse of that on here. You can see it says non-black creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. So yeah, it's an advantage to playing black, basically. Mono black creatures. So the wording's reversed, not the effect. So the black creatures are getting an advantage because you're disadvantaging all the non-black creatures. In terms of the power and the toughness. So these are pain lands. I have problems getting the different ones right as to what pain lands or shock lands or whatever, but these are the pain lands. So 5 rare dual lands with tap, add colourless to your mana pool, and then tap, add 1 of 2 colours, and if you do this one then it deals 1 damage to you. So yeah, it's a pain effect. And here the two colours are enemy colours of mana. These are reprints from the 10th edition. Again, we'll have a quick look, see how many times these have cropped up. So that was the last time they were printed, but of course they've been around. They're in Apocalypse 9th, 10th. They've been in Magic Origins. They've been in a couple of Commander decks. Secret Lair Drop. Oh wow. And then the Dominaria United. So. And now we're back to Mythics. So 15 Mythics. You'll notice that we have the souls we've seen. So out of the 15 in here, we've got the 5 monocolour souls, the 5 monocolour Planeswalkers. So going through. And then the remaining 5 would be Garruk, the Sliver Hive Lord, Perilous Vault, the Soul of New Phyrexia, which was the artifact one, and the Chain Veil as well. Our lovely, lovely planes here. So again, looking at these, I suspect a large percentage of these have seen use in other sets earlier. Sometimes it's interesting to see a pattern in some of these. Very pretty. Okay, so looking at the non-basic lands, you'll notice there's 10 here. So we already know that 5 of those are going to be those enemy coloured pain lands. So what else do we have? Well, we've got Dark Citadel, Evolving Wilds, Radiant Fountain, Sliver Hive, interestingly enough. So we have a Sliver Hive in here, even though, you know, we don't have many slivers in the set, relatively speaking. There must have been an interesting period in Standard for a short period of time, because there is that period between when the last set of the previous block releases and the first set of the new block, where you get 2 core sets in Standard for like a couple of months, however long it is. So it will be the period, yeah, from the last set of the block to the new set of the following block. And I believe, if my memory is correct on this, M14 had a ton of slivers in it, didn't it? I don't know if there's an easy way for me to check here, but actually there should be. Let me just quickly see. Yeah, the theme was slivers. So yeah, there would have been a period in Standard where you would benefit from these other things as well. So that was interesting. It's cool to see Dark Citadel reprinted. And we've got Urborg from Planar Chaos. Okay, so this is all the legendaries, both Planeswalkers and creatures. You can see there's 14 here. Now we know about, from the other cycles we've seen, we know about a number of these. So we've got, you know, in each of the colours you can see there's two, one each of a Planeswalker and one each of a legendary creature. And so that counts through 10 out of the 14. And then of course we've got Garruk, the Sliver Hive Lord, and then Chain Veil and Herbal, because Herbal is a legendary land and the Chain Veil is a legendary artifact. And then back to creatures. So 137 creatures in the set in total. We have 10 enchantments that are like pure enchantments, and again in some ways all the shenanigans that have gone in the previous set, it's actually quite nice to have a bit of simplicity in a set where you're not dealing with like multiple types, multiple card types on the same card. So yeah, bit of a step back now to a nice core set. Oh, it's lovely artwork there. I feel a nice Friday video coming on for this set. 17 auras, including in Soul Artifact. God, so much stuff I remember from 2015. I can't remember why though. Huh. 8 artifact creatures in the set. Got a Phyrexian Revoker as well. All the way from Mirrodin Besiege. Interestingly, we are seeing a few cards in from that period in Magic from Darksteel. Around, you know, Darksteel and the block that Darksteel was in. Scuttling Doom Engine. Now, had we seen... Yeah. So, reprint from Theros. Okay, 6 pieces of equipment. Avarice Amulet, Brawler's Plate, Haunted Plate Mail, Hot Soup, Rogue's Glove, and Shield of the Avatar. There's a couple of, that was a reprint from 2014. And then just your regular old artifacts. So the staves are in here. There's 15 artifacts in total. So 5 of those are going to be staves. And then we've got smattering of other things. So we've got Grind Clock, so mill artifact. Meteorite is a mana rock. We got one with a Convoke on, which interesting, allows you to give creatures you control the chosen type. So as it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. Perilous Vault. It's interesting removal. Profane Memento, Sacred Armory. The staves. We've got the Chain Veil, Tormund's Crypt, which is graveyard hate. So you know, 0 to cast. Tap it, sacrifice it, and exile all cards from target player's graveyard. And that goes way back to the dark and was reprinted in Chronicles. I may even have a copy of a Chronicles version somewhere. Was on the Time Spiral Time Shifted 2030. You can see it's been reprinted a couple of times in core sets, or more than a couple of times, and it's been put into a commander deck. And the mystery boosters. Tyrant's Machine. Again, interesting the things you see that crop up on colourless cards. So, you know, they give you that utility that you'd see in certain colours, but on a colourless card, so you can play them in any deck. But you often see, as a consequence, there's a slightly higher cost incurred. You often see that on artifact creatures, and certainly here. You know, if you think down how much a tap down spell in blue might cost, and then compare it to this. Also, it's not very stealthy in that, you know, you played it out. So yeah. Darksteel Citadel, as we mentioned before. Instants, so 39 instants, so quite a lot going on in an instance slot, but it is a large set. You can see we've got some Convoke here. So just very quickly, bit of life gain, bit of exile attacking or blocking creature, destruction on the same sort of thing, indestructible, pump, life gain, exile on high toughness creatures, tokens, pump, and additional ability. So moving into blue, tuck, counter, some weird, like put target creature onto its owner's library second from top. So another tuck spell. So these sort of positional tuck spells as well going on. Counter target spell with a additional thing stapled onto it. So if a spell is countered as well, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. So dissipate. Another thing you sometimes see in blue, this depletion of you know, power at instant speed, card draw. We've got negate in here. We've got peel from reality, more bounce. Yeah, this other morph spells that you see in blue as a method of pseudo removal. A counter spell with card draw stitched to it. Here's our black destruction. Death Touch. I think Necrobite may have been reprinted a few times because it comes from Avacyn Restored, then Born of the Gods, then Magic 2015. Got Ulcerate. So those sort of things again you see in black where they deplete power and toughness on a creature. But with this one, you know, you can see it's one to cast, but you've got this additional cost of life on your part. There's a Convoke spell, Graveyard Shenanigans. Then moving on to our instant speed, red damage spells. So 5 damage and equipment destruction. Asymmetric Pump, X spell, 3 damage. Conditional damage on mountains. Another 5 damage spell with a conditioner. 4 damage. So lots of stuff going on here. Enchantment destruction. Tutoring with a condition. Pump. Damage prevention. Destroy artifact or enchantment. Flying destruction. Flying creature destruction, pump and hexproof, and pump. So some nice, you know, combat spells. 25 sorcery spells. So here's our mass removal on all non-white creatures. Mass calcify, pretty high casting cost there. We've got an X spell. It's like reanimation on small creatures potentially. Life gain, tokens, card draw, bounce, mill, more bounce, sorcery speed damage in black, graveyard, recursion. Oh, Fester Gloom we already saw. Destroy all creature you don't... Yeah, it's an interesting mass removal spell in black there. Always nice to see that sort of thing crop up in black. Discard. Card draw with a condition on life as well as a casting cost. Yeah, this is always interesting to see this sort of thing in black. Interesting red effect there at sorcery speed. Destruction, so defender hate. These, you know, multi-target red spells. And Lava Axe. 4 and a red for a 5. Interesting card in draft or in like limited formats. Token with Convoke. Counters card drawing green. So it was interesting to see how green handles card draw. And there we have, yep, basic land. Tutoring, ramp, pump with Convoke, and yeah, graveyard stuff. So yeah, the usual suspects. There's the whole set again, 269 cards, and again with those additional sample deck specific cards. So price wise, what have we got that's pricey? So you can see there was a bit of a price drop compared to the original Plane of Chaos one. So I'm just looking at this. Whenever I look at that particular period in Magic, it always makes me think, I wonder what that would look like if they did it in those alternative, was it Future Sight frames? So, $39. The Chain Veil, 25. Waste Knot, 15. So, yeah, sudden drop here. Sliver Hive is 13. The Sliver Hive Lord is 13. Okay. And then we got the Planeswalkers. So $8. Okay, so we dropped below that. I'm now curious with the Planeswalkers. So that was new to the set. Yeah, I think, was it Liliana that was the only one that was a reprint? Am I right there? Let me just have a look. While we're in here. So Liliana, yeah, was from Lorwyn originally. Yeah, so Liliana was the only Lorwyn one. Chandra had been reprinted from 2015, and I don't believe, yeah, sorry, did I say 2015? I meant 2014. If you also remember, there were those, at that point they were doing those Comic-Con things as well, from 2013 onwards, according to this. So that was another thing that was starting to sort of surface around that period. As we're in here, what about the legendary creatures generally? Or the legendary stuff generally, does that? I think these are all new. To the set. New to Magic, yeah. Okay, good to know. Right, and finally, I suppose what I tend to call the EDH friendly stuff. So this is the stuff that's high up on the EDH ranking. Evolving Wild, no surprise, negate, yeah. Urborg. Well, in a core set, you know, with so many reprints, you get the usual suspects. Reclamation Sage, our dual lands here that we've got, you know, the cycle of those. Enemy coloured pain lands. Sign in Blood, Darksteel Citadel, Call of Calling, Ornithopter, and so on, and Tormod's Crypt. Hornet Queen. Now, Hornet Queen was originally, was actually first printed in the Commander product. So that's a reprint from the Commander product. And yeah, Stormtide Leviathan. So, what about precons? What do we see there? So colour-wise, we come down here. We've got, as you can see, 3 which are allied colours. It's interesting they were doing like 2 colour intro decks here. And then we've got these clash packs. So notice no event decks here. These are these clash packs. And with the clash pack, so it's a 2-player starter deck introduced in Magic 2015, so this is something new. They would plan to alternate with the event decks, so the idea was that you would see a clash pack for the second set in each new block as well as the last core sets. However, after only 3 releases, this product was officially discontinued. Wonder why. I think the idea was that you could play the decks against each other and then you could mash them together to sort of produce a better deck, and we'll see that in a moment actually when we go in. So let's look at the intro packs first. So white-black deck, Resolute Archangel and Mass Calcify. We've got a blue-green deck with Mercurial Pretender and Stormtide Leviathan. There's a black-red deck with Indulgent Tormentor and Burning Anger. There's a red-blue deck with Siege Dragon and Hoarding Dragon. Notice I've got the Unsoul artifact in here. And green-white deck with Fighter Titan and Hornet Queen. So those clash packs. So 2 ready-to-play decks, both bi-coloured, blue-green, red-green, and they can be combined together for a stronger deck. So you've got the Fate deck, and you can see what's interesting about these is the rare count was high. So looking at this, you can see it's a 60 card deck. So you're getting 2 60 card decks here, and there's quite a number of rares. There's also alternate art foils in here, so foily goodness. Then we've got the 60 card Fury deck. Again, high amount of rares, and then 3 alternate art foils. Notice also the land base does have, well, this one's got Nixos Shrine to Nyx in it, and this one's got Temple of Mastery. So these were pulling down from earlier sets. Additionally, you'll notice the presence of these symbols here as well. Now, then there was the Fate and Fury deck. So this is basically what they suggested, and I think this was in the insert, to what you could build if you combine the 2 decks in some way. And you can see here it's going for Forest Island, so green blue. So the Fury deck is red-green, and the Fate deck is green-blue. So bearing this in mind, you can see that there's a higher percentage, I suspect, of green cards maybe than anything else with combining the two. I'd have to go through this, and looking at this you can see there's 15 forests in here and 7 in here, and then 17 islands in this one. And I'm assuming this deck, by the land base, the sort of combined mashed together deck, would not play any red cards, because there's no real way here of, well, from the mana base anyway, in terms of the lands, of actually generating red mana. Now, of course, we've seen decks before where there's ways around that by having, you know, certain other cards which can filter for mana or generate mana of the missing colour, if you like. But I'm not seeing that here, so yeah, got both of the decent non-basic lands in here. And then we've also get a sideboard with this as well. So it's this weird aggregation of a sort of, what would you call it? Like, it's not almost like dual deck meets event deck, where the dual deck, and I'm assuming it contains standard legal cards, turns into a standard legal event deck. At least that's my guess on first view, because it's a long time since I've had a look at the Clash packs. I'm pretty sure I bought one of these just to see what they were like. Oh, forgot to check this. So what have we got coming up in the episode of Commander Durdle? So I've gone with Obnixilis. I just really fancied the ability. I don't know in here, it's always interesting to see, like in EDH, what might be the most popular one. So if I do oh, it is Obnixilis, funnily enough. Okay. I've fancied playing around with this, actually, Yissen. I may even have a foil of this that I bought at some point. Anyway, back to Obnixilis. So yeah, I've opted not to go with, like, I suppose I could have tried to build a Convoke deck, but I don't know if there were any. I didn't see any legendaries there that were there any Convoke legendaries? I don't think so. No, not really. So yeah, that was the one I've gone with, is the mono black Obnixilis. So what I then did is I just pulled in some interesting stuff. Paragon was in here, so I figured, considering I was playing a mono black deck, creature deck, we should go with that. I've got Indulgent Tormentor. The idea is to see if I get dragged towards Demon Tribal. There wasn't many demons in the set, so I have one in here. As I've mentioned before, and unless it's like what would you call, like a keyword ability that there's a lots of, whether I would put a ton of cards into seed. I have a tendency, if that's not the case, to just pull in a couple of cards in each of the types from the set that I think would be playable or would pull the deck in a certain direction, and then I've got the option to remove those later. So moment, we've just got 36 land here. We've got the swamps, and we've got Urborg here. I suppose I could run. I didn't think to run the indestructible land. I'll probably fix that when I come to do the episode, because I could play that, couldn't I? No point in playing any fetch lands really. We got In Garrick's Wake, Sign in Blood, Obelisk of Edh. So there was a Convoke card in here. I thought it's interesting because seeing as we're playing, we're going to be doing Demon Tribal hopefully, then we can choose Demon as our creature type. We've got this, why not? It's in the set. Might as well get a bit of a life boost. Eternal Thirst. Put lifelink on our creature. And yeah, this. So obviously I envisage, you know, Demon Tribal, but with this life stealing theme going on. And then we did have a mono black Planeswalker in the set, so I thought I might as well include that. Get all our stuff back from the graveyard. And that's actually, yeah, I think I need to go back through this when I do the episode, because there was a couple of black removal spells that look interesting. I think there was another one apart from In Garrick's Wake. No, maybe that is the one I'm thinking of. Anyway, I digress. This is not the Commander Fodder episode yet, or Commander Dirtle episode yet. So there we have it. Hopefully you've enjoyed that another episode of Set Musings. We were looking at M15, Magic 2015. Bye for now, and I will see you in the next video.